A Less Than Royal Narcissist, Part 29, Montecito, Residual Benefits. Those of you who have listened to my work, and beyond this series, there are an expansive number of videos that explain to you all about narcissism, narcissists, the relationship with the victim, the way that the narcissist dynamic pans out. And therefore, I'd invite you to embrace this encyclopedic range of information to enable you to understand more about narcissism for your own benefit. Part of understanding the way that a narcissist behaves is to embrace the fact that a narcissist seeks what is known as the prime aims from each and every victim. Unaware narcissists, the lessers and the mid-range narcissists, do this unconsciously. The greater and the elite, being aware, know that these are the prime aims. They may not describe them by that title, but they know that this is what they seek. The prime aims are fuel and control. Those are the two most important aspects. There are also character traits and residual benefits. In this video, I'm going to explore and explain to you part of the residual benefits that Meghan Markle obtains as a consequence of her ensnarement of Prince Harry by linking this to their move to Montecito, where they now reside. Residual benefits cover things such as fantastic sex, money, a place to live, the use of somebody's car, the use of a facade where relevant to the particular narcissist, access to contacts, access to information, and other things besides. Now, of course, a non-narcissist would like to have access to money, maybe not excessively so, and would like a nice place to live. However, those things are obtained in a non-narcissistic relationship as part of a joint contribution, or a recognition that the other individual out-earns them, and that they contribute in other ways. It isn't seen as an entitlement in the way that a narcissist looks at it, that the narcissist uses the victim to get to these things. And it doesn't just mean the spouse or partner of the narcissist. It could be friends, family members, colleagues, neighbours, acquaintances, even strangers. A narcissist operating through a sense of entitlement, a lack of accountability, no boundary recognition, and a lack of emotional empathy, utilising the various manipulations, will look to draw the prime aims. The narcissist must always control the relevant appliance as soon as they come up on the radar. Sometimes that is all the narcissist seeks, but control must always be obtained, and it always is obtained, through one of the three assertions of control. And if you'd like to understand more about the three assertions of control, please go to the Knowledge Vault and obtain that material. The link is in the video description. Beyond control, a narcissist will, in certain instances, seek fuel, which is the emotional output of the relevant appliance, character traits, and if you want to understand more about that, see my video Character Trait Acquisition, and also residual benefits. Not all appliances provide those things, but the individual who has been selected and ensnared as the intimate partner primary source, their position is to cater for all of those four things, hence why they are the intimate partner primary source. The narcissist wants those prime aims, and through those, they seek out empathic traits, class traits, and special traits. Empathic traits are such things as honesty, decency, compassion, operating with a sense of justice, and more besides. Special traits might be, for instance, that the victim is damaged in some way, has a particular vulnerability, and of course, as has been explained previously, Prince Harry ticks that box by virtue of the fact that he's vulnerable as a consequence of the death of his mother and the manner and circumstances of the death of Diana, Princess of Wales. The class traits vary upon the cadre of the narcissist. There are 4 cadres: somatic, cerebral, victim, and elite. Somatics are interested generally in material things, the way that they look, sex, having money or wanting money, possibly operating with financial largesse or being tight with money, possibly having plastic surgery, being well dressed, having the latest gadgets and cars, attending the most pleasant places to go, the flash bars, the fancy restaurants. Cerebral are more interested in the intellectual pursuits, the arts, literature, film, music, being very well read, being an academic, less interested in sex, although it occurs, less interested in the way that they look, and pursue the matters of the brain. Elite is an amalgam of somatic and cerebral. So someone might not be on the roids, but athletic, for example. And they may not have the brain size of Canada, but they're certainly bright. The victim narcissist is essentially somebody who wants to be carried by other individuals, even more so than a narcissist ordinarily would. They want somebody that will basically pay for everything, look after them, mother them in effect. They generally tend to be incompetent sexually and play upon that. They will often use pity plays. The victim, cadre, is one that expects the individual to pay for everything, that they can't work by reason of apparent illness or injury, either real or imagined. And those 4 cadres feed into the class traits that those relevant cadres look for. So the somatic narcissist is looking for somebody that is attractive, that has money, has a good job, is interested in material items, has those material items, likes to travel, looks after themselves, undertakes exercise, is interested in sex, and the other points that have been made. These class traits are important because it guides the narcissist to seek out the things that matter appertaining to the prime aims, and that manifests with regard to residual benefits. The circumstances by which Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have come to choose to live in Montecito accord with that residual benefit. Meghan Markle has managed to acquire the prince and, despite protestations of apparent poverty, are able to live in a $14.65 million estate of 7.4 acres. I don't think the bailiffs are coming through the windows just yet. And of course, as has been explained, the hypocrisy of complaining about being cut off, of having to sign up to commercial deals, is evidently contradictory when it comes to the financial position that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry find themselves in. Indeed, a meme had been circulating that showed the Oprah interview with Markle and Prince Harry surrounded by mountains of cash, complaining about their predicament, talking to a billionaire, also sat surrounded by lots of cash, basically saying, "I understand your pain." Of course, the hypocrisy exhibited by Meghan Markle is as part of the compartmentalisation of the narcissism, that in one moment one can crow about wealth and then in the next complain about being cut off and being in straitened financial circumstances and being blinded, of course, to how that looks. Another factor demonstrating that one is dealing with an unaware narcissist. An aware one would know the contradiction and therefore wouldn't issue the complaint. Furthermore, aware narcissists don't use pity plays. But how has the move to Montecito factored into the issue of residual benefits? Well, Martha Hayes, writing in the Evening Standard newspaper, talks about the new life in the multi-million-dollar Montecito life of Harry and Meghan. And this provides us with an interesting insight that's worth analysis to help you understand more about the importance of the residual benefits to a narcissist. The article sets the scene by talking about sunset walks along unspoiled beaches, hiking in the scenic foothills of the Los Padres forest, and dining at the chicest neighbourhood restaurants, and all a stone's throw from their sprawling $14.65 million, 7.4-acre estate. It's easy to see why Prince Harry and Meghan Markle joined long-term residents Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres in choosing the town of Montecito. Living where other famous people live is part of the facade, a facade of superiority, which is utilised to triangulate individuals, to say, look at me, aren't I great? I'm bumping elbows, rubbing up against the famous, the wealthy, admire me, adore me for being in this position, take an interest in me for the life that I lead. And therefore, a particular type of narcissist will look to align themselves with such individuals as part of a residual benefit appertaining to this facade of superiority. And also, it plays into character trait acquisition. Those individuals, their fame, their standing, will be commandeered by the narcissist for their own purposes. The article continues. And yet, for a couple in their 30s, with their pick of Los Angeles neighbourhoods, it still begs the question, why settle down a 90-minute drive away from all the action in a sleepy seaside enclave few people have heard of? The people who live here have made a conscious choice, says Eric Haskell, an estate agent with luxury brokerage The Agency, who grew up in Montecito, which is Spanish for Little Mount, and whose clients include Matt Damon and Rob Lowe. For glitz and glamour, you have Beverly Hills. To live an anonymous existence, you have Montecito. It's a gathering of like-minded people. So, the realtor here explains that it's a place of anonymity. Well, if so, why then tell everybody that you live there, go on television, film part of your estate, and make it known that that is where you live? Two reasons. First of all, again, we see the hypocrisy of the narcissist in action, but also it's about being a big fish. Where people may want anonymity, it enables the social climbing aspect of the narcissist to be fulfilled, to be the star attraction, because whilst there will be a commandeering of famous friends, query, do those famous friends want to be outed for the fact that they live there? Possibly not. They want the anonymity, but the narcissist would not respect that by reason of boundary transgression. Accordingly, a narcissist will put themselves in such a situation by way of claiming, oh, I want the peaceful and quiet life, facade management, whilst also leveraging the famous people and well-known individuals that live there for the benefit of the narcissist's facade of superiority and character trait acquisition. The article continues. It is beautiful, with lots of nature, and the homes are secluded and private. There is, of course, a dark side, centred at the moment on local politics and feuds with neighbouring Santa Barbara over who gets access to the water during droughts. In his novel Black Money, Ross MacDonald described Montecito as a place where almost anything can happen. Almost everything has. He adds that residents play at being simple villagers, the way the courtiers of Versailles pretend to be peasants. And that's an interesting observation, because that demonstrates that there will, of course, be more than one narcissist lurking in this area that operates a facade of apparent humility and being humble, yet providing an excellent backdrop for the assertion of control through the various machinations, both unaware and aware, dependent upon the school of narcissist. The article continues. Before COVID, there were plenty of private parties in the hillside mansions, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are not short of friends here. Oprah's had Meghan's mother Doria to her estate for lunch a few times, and of course Ellen is nearby. She visited them at Frogmore Cottage. says Richard Minards, a British former royal correspondent who's been a columnist for the Montecito Journal for 14 years and lives minutes from Harry and Meghan. Facade management, character trait acquisition. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom, who have been quarantining in Montecito, have a daughter Daisy, who's a bit younger than Archie. I think they could make friends and play on the beach together. Of course, that's complete speculation as to whether that would actually occur, but again, yet more famous people who could contribute to the facade and also with regard to the issue of character trait acquisition. Butterfly Beach is a popular spot and likely to be where Harry was filmed walking with Archie and their dogs, Pula and Guy. It would be lovely to see Harry teaching Archie to surf, adds Minards. Whilst sightings of the family have so far been scarce, they have been spotted cycling and are likely to hike. Cold Spring Trail, Hot Springs Canyon, and San Isidro Trail are all on their doorstep. The benefits of certain activities, which would accord with a somatic narcissist in terms of surfing, walking, hiking. The family's arrival put Montecito on the map, says Haskell. This demonstrates big fish in small pond mentality, which will accord with the grandiosity of a narcissist. When Harry and Meghan purchased, it was a tipping point for Montecito real estate. There's been an influx of influential people from LA and New York. It's not clear if the article is suggesting that because Harry and Meghan moved there, other people did also. And if that is the case, of course, that will pander to the sense of control and also grandiosity. See, we've put the place on the map and people want to be with us. The article continues, that is an understatement. New homeowners in the area, which has a population of about 8,610, include Gwyneth Paltrow, Ariana Grande, Natalie Portman, and Netflix boss Ted Sarandos. Couple of narcissists in there. See if you can guess which ones. Harry and Meghan's purchase of their estimated $14.65 million house, remember, these individuals are in financial straits, yet still able to purchase a house of that value, was so low-key, many in the real estate world were not aware of it. They bought their house for less than the previous owner paid for it in 2009. It's a bargain compared to other houses in the area, for example, Oprah Winfrey's $50 million property or DeGeneres' recent $49 million purchase. Again, facade management of living in such an expensive area. So, how does Harry and Meghan's 9-bedroom, 16-bathroom estate, for, of course, 3 people, soon to be 4, known as the Chateau of Riven Rock, compare? Again, having such a large property, they have the money to do so. They're perfectly entitled to buy a large property. But again, it demonstrates the grandiosity that comes with it in buying such a large place for so few individuals. Of course, they'll carry a staff as well, but that demonstrates that if they are in such financially impecunious situation as they have complained of, which of course they aren't, then surely one had ought to buy something a little less expensive. Minards says that the property is typical of the beautiful houses in the area. It's Mediterranean feeling with terracotta tiles, all the estates behind high walls and have big gates. Built in 2003, the chateau now has a library, gym, home theatre, wine cellar and spa. All residual benefits. The couple's bedroom is like the presidential suite of a 5-star hotel, with fireplaces, chandeliers, a balcony, a separate sitting room and a marble bath. Grandiosity. As well as the pool, tennis court and coop of rescue chickens, a little nod to the facade management of caring and being helpful, the estate has rose gardens, century-old olive trees and an outdoor pizza oven. There's a 2-bedroom guest house for when LA-based friends such as Adele and James Corden visit. Again, of course, that's speculation, but we've seen the hobnobbing that takes place with those individuals, which again is part of the facade management. Those are residual benefits in themselves by aligning with famous and well-known people and also allows character trait acquisition. The article continues, Montecito's culture of discretion should protect the couple. There are no celebrity home sightseeing tours, and the locals don't make it easy for paparazzi to be here, Minards says. In other words, even if the couple were out for dinner, we might never hear about it. Well, I wouldn't bet on that, matey boy, because, of course, the self-publicising nature of the narcissist is such that this will be announced. And again, this type of environment caters to the big fish in a small pond mentality of I can be seen and I'm not having to compete with lots of other people. If, for instance, they had based themselves in Beverly Hills, they would be up against some particular titans with regard to fame. And whilst that would pose an attraction with regard to grandiosity and facade management and character trait acquisition, the narcissist's innate envy would come to the fore, and that would be a threat to the narcissist's sense of control, because they would in effect be outgunned by richer, more famous people, and far more of them. And not all of them would be interested in being part of the coterie of the narcissist. Indeed, many of them would be narcissists themselves and would want to be above the other narcissists. Whereas with Montecito, whilst there are famous people there, they are already apparent friends within the coterie of Meghan Markle, therefore easier to control. The issue of envy is not as much as a problem. Even though they may be wealthier, there will be more of an aligning alongside them rather than seeing them as the enemy, at least so far. And therefore, being able to operate as a big fish in a small pond appeals to the need for control over these individuals and to nullify any perceived threat to control which would occur by being amongst much more famous people, much wealthier people, and far more of them in other locations. Hence, this particular residual benefit is instinctively selected for those reasons. The article explains that Harry and Meghan have only been spotted in one Montecito restaurant so far, dining with actress and musician friends Catherine McPhee and David Foster at Lucky's Steakhouse. Facade management, character trait acquisition. Miniards puts the elusiveness of the couple down to the pandemic and hopes to see them out and about once lockdown is lifted. I'm sure that that wish will be granted. Many people have said they'd like to see them in the community, getting involved because we have so many non-profit organisations here. Again, a fantastic opportunity for character trait acquisition and facade management by being involved. Some people fail to understand that just because a narcissist is engaged in doing good, that they can't be a narcissist. I have seen such comments on my videos from time to time. And as I have explained, but I'll explain again, many narcissists do things which benefit the world generally through running huge organisations which employ people, through innovation, through entrepreneurship, through entertainment, writing, film, literature, poetry, acting on stage. Those things are done because it benefits the narcissist in the same way that I create these videos whereby you gain education and insight from them, but it's all about the extension of my legacy. I do them for my purpose, but you also benefit. And many narcissists operate that way. They will create and operate fantastic things for people. Designing, engineering, inventing. The narcissist, of course, will be problematic with people on a one-on-one basis. But to the world at large, you do not have to interact with that particular narcissist, which means, of course, that you get the benefit with none of the downside. And therefore, just because a narcissist is involved in philanthropic missions, charity drives, doesn't mean that they're not a narcissist. It's part of the facade and is an excellent means of asserting control over people. Look, I'm a good person. Gaining fuel. Oh, thank you so much for your donations. Character trait acquisition and residual benefits. It appertains to the facade. So, in the circumstances, don't be misled into thinking that just because a narcissist engages in charitable and good works, they can't be a narcissist. They can. The existence of these non-profit organisations would also cater to the facade of the narcissist. The article finishes by stating, finally, Harry and Meghan's new life wouldn't be complete without the Santa Barbara Polo and Racquet Club. Harry's friend, Nacho Figueras, a mutual mate of DeGeneres, and his wife Delphina are regulars, and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge visited on their 2011 North American tour. At the dinner, William said Charles and Harry were as green as grass that he was there, recalls Miniards. With lockdown ending, we might well see them and have Harry riding in the summer. If he wasn't a prince, he would have made a very good professional polo player. He's a better player than William. He's in the perfect place to get his practice in, undisturbed by any unwanted attention. The move to Montecito is part of the residual benefits that the narcissist acquires from Prince Harry, who doubtless has been the one that's funded this purchase of this particular property in this particular area. It caters to the class traits, it allows the presentation of a facade, it allows the operation of grandiosity, it allows the operation by being a large fish in a small pond. It's in an area where character traits can be acquired from other famous and well-known people that live there, and therefore is a substantial residual benefit and is part of the reason why Prince Harry was chosen to be the intimate partner, primary source of Meghan Markle. Once again, this is about breaking down the various aspects of the narcissistic dynamic to help you understand the behaviours, the decision-making and actions of a narcissist, and this appertained to the role of residual benefits, one of the 4 prime aims. Do like this video, share it, subscribe, ensure other people are educated. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.